Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wicked West Books. My name is Meg. This is Kestrel.
And I'm Lee.
And today we are doing our Buddy Read It discussion for January, which is an odd month, which means it was his choice what book we read.
And I picked Poison River
By Josh Reynolds. I have it as a Japanese mystery.
Yeah, it's a Japanese mystery. It's based in the world of Rokugan, which is in the RPG and card game Legend of the Five Rings.
Have you ever played that?
No, it's one I've been interested in, though. It looks really cool. I like the art.
Well, you do really like Japanese style art anyway.
Also, it's really interesting. Apparently, the RPG you use, it's not a lot of combat focused stuff from what I can understand. It's more of conversation and working with honor and stuff like that. So you build a character and you try to keep it within the structure of their society.
I ended up rating it a 3.5. I can get into why I didn't like it so much, but what did you rate it?
I'm going to rate it a 4. It had a lot of good things in it. I felt like it could have been a little bit better structured in places, but I liked it overall.
And then there's the fact that we both got to the end and couldn't remember why people did what they did.
Yeah, it did kind of rush a lot of the mystery, it felt like, towards the end, to where you had to, I had to re-listen to it so I could actually do this review and make sure I understood what happened everywhere.
And my opinion is somewhat low on it because I don't think in a mystery you should get to the end of the book and not have any idea the motives behind the initial crime to begin with.
It's very intricate, so I understand why it was like that, but at the same time, it's...
Well, I can appreciate that the author basically trusted us to have the answers. I also didn't like it.
Yeah, there could have been a nice little summation in points.
At any point?
There was one or two little summations to where you figured out the mystery there, but it could have been better. So this book focuses on the character of Daidon Shin. He has recently come to the City of the Frog, and he's there to watch over his clan's trade interest within the city. Throughout his time there, he's more of a wastrel than anything. He's kind of a fop. But
he's fun.
Yeah, he's a fun character. But the governor gives him a task to investigate a poisoned sack of rain that was found in the Lion Clan warehouse.
Sack of rice. You said sack of grain.
Yes, it was a sack of rice. And throughout the story, you see all these little intricacies on who poisoned it, why it was poisoned, and how all the different clans of the city are using it to their own advantage. That's kind of the whole story there.
I gave the characters a 9 out of 10. They were maybe my favorite part about this book was the characters.
I agree. They were all really well written and they were all very individualized. The only problem I had, and it's because I went through and I wrote down the character names, there's a lot of them that begin with a C or a K sound. So if you're listening to it quickly, you might misunderstand who's talking or something.
Like when you're re-listening to it at 3 times speed because we can't remember why the villains did what they did.
So who's your favorite character?
I didn't really have a favorite, although Daidon Shin was very like Japanese Sherlock Holmesian, so I did enjoy that. Yeah. Him and his partner
Kasumi. I liked both those characters too. I thought they had a really good back and forth interplay. It was kind of like a more aggressive Watson with Sherlock, I felt like.
Yeah, definitely more aggressive than Watson.
And my other favorite character was Chobe. He was one of the ninjas that was they weren't evil, but they were hired by the bad guys, basically.
For atmosphere, I also gave it a 9.
Well, I mean, it's set in kind of a feudal Japanese style, so I'm definitely going to like the atmosphere there. I'm trying to think if there's anything about the atmosphere I didn't like, but it was all pretty good, I felt like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't poke any holes in it, really.
The writing I gave a 7. I thought it was pretty good, but again, the fact that it's a mystery, but there was no summing it up, there was no like report written to the governor who hired him to begin with. That might have been a good way to sum up everything and why things happened. And even though he had a conversation with him in the end.
Yeah.
And it still didn't sum up everything. We weren't there for that conversation. We were there just for the after it was explained kind of conversation.
Now, since I just listened to it all literally the last 2 days, there are 2 to 3 summations here. And they all build off each other. And if you listen to them all like I did, you understand the entire what's going on. So I'll rank it a little bit higher on writing because he feels like we're smarter. So I'm going to give him an 8.
The plot, I gave a 4.
Really? I'm kind of surprised by that.
Again, if I can get to the end of the book and not know the character's motivations. I don't think that's very good plotting.
It's just because I read it more recently. I think the plot's a little bit higher than that. I'd probably go with a 7 on there because it's well plotted. Everything is done in a certain order. You're given foreshadowing, and with the summations like they're set up, it works really well. I will give it, if you're not reading it like in a straight continuous flow like I did, yeah, I would rank it lower. But if you do it all within a couple of days, I could see it being all right.
Intrigue was 6 because I was intrigued while it was going. It's just near the end, it like completely lost me.
On the first go around, I'd agree with you. The second go around, I'm like, okay, I see what's happening here. And they set up a lot of things, I feel like, that are going to be used in future books.
Probably.
So that's kind of interesting. One of the big things is the relationship and engagements of Katsumi. She's one of the Unicorn Clan's. She's like the leader of the Unicorn Clan's daughter, and she was engaged to a member of the Dragon Clan, and now might be engaged to the governor. It's hard to say, but there's some weird love triangle stuff going on there that I could see being a future plot point in future books.
Yeah. Logic, I gave a 7 out of 10.
I'll agree with that. Everything's pretty logical in there. There's some happenstance stuff that happens, though, that I would knock it down for.
Mm-hmm. And then my enjoyment is the lowest rating of all on this book, and that was a 2.
Really?
I hate reading a mystery novel, getting to the end of it, and going, hey, maybe it's just me, but I don't understand why this character and this character poisoned rice at the beginning. What did they even have to do with it? And you, in your first read, didn't have answers either.
To be fair, I was reading through it pretty quick, and I had forgotten certain parts, so...
It's a mystery, though. You should be able to connect all the dots and see it all happen at the end. And I don't think it's a good book if you get to the end of a mystery and it doesn't even give you the motivations of why characters did things, to the point where both of us missed it on one read through.
Okay, I'll agree with you overall on that. On the second read through, though, it was easier for me to track, especially because I was taking notes the whole time to make sure I could understand it. I took about 4 pages of notes.
And I think that if it's an actually well written book, you don't have to take notes, which honestly should count down on the writing. But I did enjoy it while I was reading it. It was just the end that soured the entire experience for me.
You see, I would count it down on the story in that case. I think the writing was solid. The story overall had some issues. Yeah, the plotting and stuff like that for a mystery had issues. The writing style overall, I think, is good.
Maybe. Anything stand out about the book to you now that especially since you've read it twice?
I liked all the interplays between the different clans and seeing how they're not going to really react to anything until they
definitely tell that they're
well, they'll react in the shadows, but they're not going to overtly act until they get the lion or aggressive. That's just how they are. But overall,
I could tell from the writing that it was definitely a setup for an entire series, which of course there's more than just this one book out at this point. Is it a series that you're going to continue reading?
Yes, I plan on. Might not be right away, but it's on my list. It has all the aesthetics I like. It's based off an RPG system, so if I want to really go in depth and learn about the entire world, there's so much information out there. What about you? Would you like to go for the second book?
No.
Okay, well, that shuts down something I was planning here in a couple of months for a buddy read, so never mind.
No. I don't know. Maybe it gets better. Maybe after you read it and you can get through it with one go and tell me what it is without 4 pages of notes.
I might do this for every mystery because I kind of like it. If we had time, I was going to make a tack board.
So, is that all we have to discuss for this book? Is that I genuinely didn't like it because it treated me like I was smarter than I was?
Is that a bad thing?
I think so. To an extent. During the book, I don't mind being treated like I'm smarter than I am. I read fantasy. A lot of fantasies depend on me figuring things out for myself. But I still think in a mystery, it should round up everything at the end so that every plot, every motivation, every why did this happen question gets answered without having to read the entire book again.
Now, there is one thing that they did in here that I kind of found surprising. Can we go into spoilers or?
Yeah, we can go into spoilers now.
Okay. So Kuma, he's the one that's kind of in charge of the Dragon Clan. 2 of his subordinates did the entire plot trying to grow the Dragon Clan's influence and protect the shrines they're guarding. What he mentions at the end makes it sound like he might have been in charge of it, but might not have been in charge of it.
Oh no, he was in charge of it. They just couldn't prove that he was, so he let his subordinates fall for his plot. That part I did get.
Well, no. Whenever he's talking, he's like, Inji could have been working with someone else because he wasn't the smartest person to plan this. And from what I could tell from reading it, Kuma wasn't aware of the plan for quite a while. Then, whenever he noticed it, he was like, "Oh, I gotta make sure these two disappear." Basically, so it's like there could have been another party working in here. It's just hard to say. Which I mean, it gave me it makes me think that there could be more going on in the book. But 2 read-throughs is plenty. I think I figured out everything I can figure out from it. Yeah, I mean everything else is pretty straightforward. I love Chichiro. It seems like he wants to marry off his daughter for an alliance.
Well, of course he does. He's been trying.
Yeah, but here's the funny thing. She either does want to get married off or she's waiting for the right one. So I think
I think she's in love with her bodyguard.
Oh, me too. I'm thinking that's probably it because she's at the theater with him and everything. She looks happy at that point. The father, though, might want to try to marry her off to Shin.
He might.
The ninjas, I really liked. Shinobi is what they call themselves. They're ninjas, though. I really liked all of them. Chobei is probably, other than Chin, he's my favorite character. I just like his personality.
So, anything else left to discuss about this particular book?
No, I think we're good. I mean, the only thing we could do is if we wanted to go through the plot of it and the whole mystery, but I kind of don't like doing that just because it's a lot of spoilers.
It is a lot of spoilers. If it's something that you're interested in, you can definitely read the book, but I suggest taking 4 pages of notes. Because, yeah, that's apparently what you need in order to follow the mystery in this one. So that brings us to February. It's my choice, and we both actually already read the book that was my choice, and that was the first Murderbot Diaries by Martha Wells, All Systems Red, which I think is just a prequel novella, not the actual first book in the series, technically.
I think it is listed as first book, technically.
Maybe.
But it also...
Whatever I was 3 hours long.
Most of them are 3 hours. I think the Mets
is... the rest of them are like 6 to 7 hours.
No, there's only one that's 7 hours, and the other one's 12 hours. Those are the 2 long ones. Everything else is like 3 to 4.
But yeah, we're gonna talk about Murderbot, and that video will come hopefully the actual first Monday of next month, because we have already read it. This one's a little bit late because he needed to reread it, busy with work and just other things.
Yeah.
So that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you join us next month for All Systems Red discussion. And if you like this video, please like below. Feel free to subscribe if you have not done so already. And I will be back with another video. Have a wicked day.
Bye.